How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I got out for a couple good dives last weekend. The visibility was awesome. I did a fishing lure cleanup pretty good for that matter. Made it back to Royston Shipwrecks with an awesome crew and did some snorkeling and learned another valuable lesson. There you go. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace and love. Guess where I am? Back here at Rocky Point. Gonna be diving for fishing lures. We got the man right there, Garrett. What up, Garrett? And TJ. Yeah, what's up, TJ? Driving out here from not Campbell River, Duncan last second.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it's awesome that you can join, man.
It's my birthday today.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Happy birthday.
Yeah, I saw your post and I was like, yo, he's going. So I called you.
Yeah, there you go, there you go. Yeah, it's kind of a last minute decision. The visibility, I don't know what it's gonna be like. It was really windy last night, but I really want to get in the water. I was sick for like 2 weeks. You can see the chop out there. It's not horrible, but at the same time, the entry exit is a little bit rougher. Thankfully, we're a bunch of freedivers, not anglers, and we're in nice warm wetsuits, so we're not falling in, we're jumping, and it can be risky if you're here and you're fishing and you slip in and you can't get out if you're all geared up in your everyday clothing. Open cells, you feel like you're a Superman, superhero. It's basically what we are. No, that's a lie. 'Tis the season for hot jugs of water in a cooler so it stays hot. Oh man, it is a cold day. I think it's like 4 degrees Celsius right now, and when we get in the water it's not gonna feel much warmer. Oh man, but we got it. The visibility in the wintertime is unbeatable compared to the summer. I'm gonna do a visibility 101 video. There's other factors that destroys visibility, like wind and storms, runoff from torrential downpours going into the ocean. But yeah, stay tuned for that. I got so many videos I plan on making and so little time to make them. But eventually I'll get to it. It's funny, everybody hates on solo diving, when in reality it's getting to the dive spot that's the most dangerous part. A lot of people out here fishing on the rocks by themselves, and they're at way more risk than I am half the time. So really doing anything by yourself is dangerous, whether that be working at home on a ladder, driving in the wilderness where there's no vehicle traffic, or holding your breath going underwater. Not solo today though, but it's probably more risky today than it was last time I was here and I was solo. Work smart, not hard, they say. I found some calm entry, so I don't have to stumble into the ocean. I already fell once, I don't want to fall again. So thankfully this dive wasn't in vain. The visibility cooperated. You can probably hear me scream with happiness here in a second. As soon as I jumped in, I was spotting fishing lures, no surprise, because this is a really popular spot to go fishing. I swear I was finding new ones even from last time I was here, but I was finding a lot of old ones as well. A sea lion, actually 3 sea lions, bombed us almost immediately once we jumped in the water. I make it pretty clear that these interactions are natural, they're not forced, and I do my best to ignore them when they approach me in the water. But when you have a 500-pound beast behind you, you know, scouting you out, it's kind of hard to turn your eye away from them. There's finding more pockets of lead all over the place too. This was my first lingcod egg mass I spotted this season. You can see the male above guarding the egg mass. You can also see this whole entire reef is just covered in fishing line, which is kind of depressing. A friend of mine recently freed a spiny-lithoid crab fishing line it was all wrapped up in. Kudos to him. I had a commenter say he reeled up a Puget Sound king crab once that was all wrapped up in fishing gear. I do my best to clean up these shallow reefs, but you gotta wonder what the reefs down at 200 and 300 feet look like. Fishing line can take over 1,000 years to start to degrade, so pretty depressing. I had someone comment on my last video that, hey, if you really care about the environment, why are you only picking up the lures? He failed to comment on the fishing line that I did pick out of the water, and he didn't mention the fishing rod, the fishing net, or all the plastic fishing gear that I pulled out. I don't know what he's trying to prove, but yeah, I grabbed the lures. Half the time that's all that's remaining. I'm gonna come back and hopefully grab all the fishing line as well, but that's better and safer to do on scuba. Garrett spotted a juvenile Puget Sound king crab. He went to go show me, but he lost the spot. Still a good find though, so make sure you check out his video. I'm not sure if you can hear it on camera, but we go down there and we can hear whales crying. That's super cool. I've never experienced that before. I really hope the camera picked up the noise. But we go down there and stay motionless so we can hear them. It's awesome. Honestly, that was probably one of the coolest experiences I've had in recent history. People ask me from time to time if a killer whale ever approached me, would I be nervous or scared? To be honest, yeah, I probably would be a bit intimidated, but I'd welcome the experience with open arms. I would take comfort in knowing that a killer whale has never attacked a human in the wild. And to be honest, if I was the first, at least my name would be in the history book, so you always gotta look at the bright side. Not that I want to die, but hey, if it's gonna happen, might as well be something epic like that, right? That, or if I ever saw like a massive tsunami coming at me, you know, I'd make peace with it. That'd be a cool experience. I've been trying to figure out what to do with all this fishing gear, and a viewer gave me a really good idea. The Rugged Coast Research Society, each year they do a party for the ocean. They take donations and auction them off for their efforts. They go to remote, pristine coastline and do their best to clean up all the trash that floats up on the shore. My friend and also sponsor Brett Bickerton of Bickerton Spear Guns is one of the founding members. He makes beautiful handcrafted spear guns out of Nanaimo, BC, so I really want to support him because he supports me, and all the lures will go towards a good cause. And I'll be honest, some of the lures I'm going to keep as well. The ones that are past the point of salvage I'll melt down and turn into dive lead, because you can never have too much dive lead. I was doing really good on this cleanup. The conditions on the surface were pretty rough though. It didn't make doing a breathe up easy, and I was getting water in my snorkel, but overall, the effort paid off because I came home with probably 50 or 60. I didn't do an official count. This is where dive tackle manufacturers need to do better. For a product that is destined to be lost in the ocean, they put way too much plastic on this stuff. As a consumer, do your due diligence, buy the eco-friendly options, biodegradable fishing line, which apparently is a thing. And if you see unnecessary plastic, just move along to the next product. I'm going to be giving away a lot of this fishing gear, but the cold hard reality is, eventually it's going to be sitting on the bottom of the ocean one day. And I don't want to hate on fishing or angling, but honestly, spearfishing for the win, right? Because we just pick up gear, we don't really lose it, and we don't have to leave all our debris on the bottom, which is awesome. I said in my last video, it's kind of hard to make lure diving exciting, when in fact that video outperformed all my others in recent history, so kind of ironic. Apparently there's a niche out there for lure diving. I didn't think it was exciting, but happy my audience does. And hey, if I'm giving back to the environment, helping out this reef, then why not, right? I guess the other hidden bonus to this is if I do end up dropping a hook and line from time to time, I honestly have fishing tackle for the rest of my life, and if I do give it all away, I'm sure I can just come back here and get more. I could be selfish and try to keep this location to myself, but I would rather more people come here and do the same thing and continue to clean up this reef because my hands are full. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, there's swirling water. That's what we do, yeah.
Oh, that's the way.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Woo. We were getting smashed by the swell out there, but despite that, cleaned up pretty good. I did not do a count, but I'm thinking at least 50 in the pile today. No fishing rods, no nets, but a lot of stuff I can melt down for dive lead and donate to the Rugged Coast Research Society. So hopefully raise some money for them. Regardless, fun time. Thanks Garrett, and thanks TJ for joining me. Wouldn't have done it without you guys. Beavercraft was nice enough to send me another hatchet. This one's a little bit more compact than my last one, but it's just as sexy, and this will probably be my go-to because it's a bit lighter, so when I'm hiking in and doing shore dives, won't take as much room up in my bag. But yeah, this thing's split through wood like no tomorrow. It's quite beautiful. Sent to me from Ukraine, which is kind of neat. So if you're looking for a hatchet, make sure to check out my affiliate link. I get a small commission, which helps my channel out, and you get a beautiful piece of equipment. Awesome, thanks again guys, much appreciated. This right here is a greenling I shot probably in the summer. I didn't mark the date on it, but I'm gonna cook it over the fire with one of these little cages. That's my favorite way to make greenling besides in ceviche. I'm gonna keep it simple, just a bit of ideally butter, but using margarine. I got Jasmine's Bermuda fish seasoning from Bermuda, and yeah, a bit of salt in there. It should be delicious. This is one man show here. I got my hands tied. Can't really film and cook at the same time, but stay tuned. Should turn out real nice. There we go. It's getting down there. It's getting close to perfection. A couple more minutes to do it. Looking good, looking good. You want to try it? Let me know. Let me know how it is. Take a big bite. Is it yummy? Yeah, it's real good, isn't it? It's something that you find on a rockfish or lingcod. Wouldn't expect to see a big flaking hunk like that off a green ling.
You cook the best fish ever.
You're funny.
I love your fish.
Thank you,
it's the best in the world.
Woo!
And you're just the best in the whole world.
Thanks, buddy. Love you.
And it's so yummy.
My wife's grandparents gave her a Chevy Equinox 2015. I went to Calgary to go pick it up, and I was going through Rogers Pass just before Revelstoke, and a vehicle veered into my lane on the highway. I was just able to dodge it by 6 inches or so, a head-on collision, but the driver still, you can see the swipe from the rear view mirror, and it comes along to the back end, so the vehicle still made contact. That asshole never reported the accident, so it was a hit and run. Gotta wonder if they didn't have a license or intoxicated. I could have died. I'm so fortunate it wasn't head on. I might not be here right now, or if I was here, I wouldn't be in the same condition as I am right now. So yeah, I held my kids a little bit tighter and gave me a new perspective of life. Something y'all don't know about me, I'm actually a pretty angry, negative person. Not all the time, but I have my moments, way too many of them. I'm trying to work on that, and having a near-death experience really helps put that into perspective.
Top of the morning.
What's up? What's up? How's it going?
Good.
Oh man, this is gorgeous. Look how beautiful it is.
I know.
Yeah, nice and calm.
Yeah.
This spot right here is like a once or twice a year type dive. You need a 5 meter tide at least to have any depth to explore the wrecks. And we came here once actually. This is my third time here. First time I came here, success. Second time it was like chocolate milk because all the wind was coming into the bay, stirred everything up. We ended up going to Argonaut Wharf and Campbell River as a backup plan. But today it's looking glassy, it's looking freaking rad. Gonna go explore, it's gonna be fun. It was reading -3 on the dash coming in this morning. It is a cold one, but the visibility should be perfect. So that's a positive. Take the good with the bad. Y'all ready for this, Heather?
No, not at all. It's cold.
That's pretty good. That's not too bad. We'll survive. We'll survive.
Oh, we'll survive.
Yeah.
The conditions are perfect.
They are. Can't be any better. This is the technique right here. I got the defrost on with my gloves, getting them nice and toasty. It separates the boys from men. Actually, I'm with 3 women, so women from girls. But yeah, it's chilly. I think I said that like 15 times. You get the idea. It's really important to have the right gear. I got my Farmer John 7mm. 14 over the core, 7 over the legs, gives me a bit of flexibility. This suit, I've got it Diving Sports, and it's held it down now for a solid year, and it's keeping me really warm. It's probably one of my favorite suits. I'll do a review video on it one of these days. But everybody else is geared up. We're gonna crank the heat in here for like 10 minutes. Get our core temperature up a little bit, and then go explore. I put an open invitation on a Facebook group for this dive, and the post got a lot of attention, but ended up just being 3 of us on this trip, 4 including me. A friend was gonna come with 3 of his buddies, but they all kind of felt under the weather, so they bailed last second too. I don't really know my whale sounds, and I don't really know my skeletons either. I am assuming this is a seal. I'm not 100%, but it was still interesting nonetheless. Picked clean clearly by that hermit crab and other critters on the ocean's bottom. We definitely hit the jackpot with visibility. The conditions were crystal clear. Cold, but crystal clear, flat calm, the sun was out. Couldn't ask for a better day. I'm gonna post a link to my last dive here. I provided a bunch of information on all these wrecks. If you wanna learn more about this spot, feel free to check out my last edit. This place was like a cathedral. You could see the openings in the wreck, old portholes and spots that have rusted out over time. All the sun just glistening in. It really was breathtaking in more than one way, metaphorically and physically speaking. This spot too, there's swim through galore. I also say in a bunch of my videos, one of my favorite things to do underwater is swim throughs. Brings out the child in me, and this spot had no shortage. If you're like me and were born in the 1990s, you probably grew up watching a show called Recess. They had a jungle gym that they ended up retiring in that show called Rusty. This right here is the grown-up equivalency. It's extremely fun, but also extremely dangerous at the same time. All the exposed rocks, sharp edges. You have to be extremely aware of your surroundings when you're at a spot like this. I knew that coming here, and I surely make a mistake. Thankfully, I didn't get too injured. Last time I was here, it was later in the day and there were schools of perch all over. Saw some greenling as well. In the morning, when the sun was coming up, it wasn't that lively. Saw some crabs, some starfish, but no real schools of fish until later in the dive. Thankfully, they came out towards the end. Anouk dove here last summer and she ended up seeing a spiny dogfish. When I used to angle, I would catch them left, right, and center. I figured that's all I would see while diving, and since 2018, I have laid eyes on 0. It's my 2025 dive goal though, so I'm gonna really put in some effort, maybe go into a bay like this and bait the area with some fish scraps and see if I can spot one, because they're really cool and I'd love to see them in their own environment, not sitting on my boat. This wreck right here was my favorite one to dive, by the way. It was the deepest. It had part of it sticking out of the water, but the majority was submerged. A lot of cool swim throughs on this one. My dad was a pilot for Air Canada. He retired as captain of the 787 Dreamliner. A 737 that he used to fly is now an artificial reef sunken off Chemainus, BC. I'd love to dive that one day and show him the footage. That'd be really cool. On that Facebook post I made, a guy commented that his dad used to be on one of these boats that is now sunken here. Unfortunately, the nameplates have all rusted off. I'm not sure exactly which boat would have been his, but I really hope I capture some footage for the guy. I'm sure that would be really special for him. I forget how many wrecks are here exactly. I think there's 12 to 15, somewhere in between. Some of them date back to the 1920s, and the ships themselves would be much older than that too. They were placed here as a breakwater for the logging industry that was prevalent in the area back in the day. They would help dissipate the waves that would roll in from the Strait of Georgia and also block some of the strong current that comes out of here. Some of you may know I teach occupational health and safety. Safety for me is always on the forefront. I do my absolute best when I'm in these situations to keep an eye on my surroundings, but it's not always easy. I was filming with the Insta360 X4. It can see in 360, unfortunately I can't. As I came through the swim through here, right above me, there's a shard of steel and boom, my face just smacks it. Thankfully, I had my mask on and my suit. I still ended up with a decent sized welt on my head. It still hurts to this day, but I'm sure it's gonna get better eventually. Thankfully, I didn't lose my eyeball.
We probably picked the best day of the year to do this, but we also picked the coldest day of the year to do this. I think everyone after about half hour is already shivering, including me. My hands are cold, my feet are cold, but it's so epic it's hard to get out. But taking a bit of warm up break. The sun beating down on us is a bonus though. Wanna get every last second we can in here.
Last time I dove here, I said to make sure you have a tetanus shot if you visit this spot. Come here at your own risk. I do not encourage anybody to come here unless you're extremely competent and you're aware of your surroundings, which clearly I was, and I still got hurt. Tetanus has a 40% death rate, so no laughing matter. If you have a wound and it's clean, you have about 10 years before you need another booster. If it's a really dirty wound, they recommend getting a tetanus booster after 5 years. The symptoms are pretty nasty. Lockjaw, your brain swells, your whole entire body spasms. It's not a fun time, so it's not worth not getting. Make sure that when you're doing this stuff, any wound, you sanitize it nice and cleanly. I have never gotten an infection my whole entire life, but that doesn't mean it can't happen. One thing I love about diving, it's not just the stuff that we see underwater. Half the time I'm at the surface just looking at the beauty around me, like these sandpipers. They're awesome.
I think we put in at least an hour and we got some good footage, so we're gonna call it. Get a couple more clips on the way back in and warm up.
That is a wrap. We're all out of the water, dried off and warmed up-ish. I can't wait to turn the vehicle on and crank the heat. Do that the whole ride back, and eventually I'll feel my feet again. Thanks Xerxes, thanks Heather, and thanks Anouk for diving with me. We were expecting a larger group, but some of the people couldn't make it, and some were sick. You know how it goes. We're gonna cruise back though. Found some water intrusion in my house that I gotta deal with, so I got a day's work ahead of me. Gonna head to the mainland for work for 7 days. Gotta head to Kelowna for work, and then eventually make my way back here for 5, and then basically working all of February for 3 weeks straight. But thanks everybody for watching. Peace and love. If you enjoyed the content, just even throwing the thumbs up button goes a long way for my channel. Throw a comment too. See you again. Bye.